Hey people! So we've got a bonus interview today. I'm looking forward to this one with Sarah McCaffrey, who is a strong woman. Hi, Sarah.
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. We've just had a little chat, haven't we, Sarah? We're all me and you. We're doing all right, aren't we? We're lucky, aren't we?
We are thriving in this lockdown.
Yeah, which
Definitely.
is lucky for us. Not lucky for everybody, but lucky for us.
Yes, definitely lucky for us. I think plenty of time to do the things we want to do without too many worries, really.
Yeah, there's less worries apart from the imminent death thing that's
Well,
there.
apart from that,
If we just
yeah.
kind of like that to one side, we're all right. But so strong woman, right? When I
Yeah.
first, obviously you're my friend, and I met you through your partner. And when we first got to chatting, because she hooked us up, so I know we have things in common, like being sportswomen. Also,
Yeah.
we've got the same mental health issues, haven't we? Which we're an OCD gang. But I made the error of saying that you were a bodybuilder, and you weren't cross
Yeah.
with me, which is good, because I don't.
I'll take that as a compliment. So.
Yeah, I said, oh, yeah, it's something to do with bodybuilding. I said, oh, I'm not a bodybuilder, H. I'm a strong woman. So, Sarah, tell everybody, what is a strong woman or a strong man, and and how you got into it, why you got into it, and go for it. Tell us
Okay,
the stuff.
well, there's a lot of confusion sometimes around the various different strength sports. So you've got bodybuilding, which is where you'll go on stage and you will pose, and it's about muscle symmetry and size, depending on which category you're doing. And then you've got Olympic weightlifting, which is what you see at the Olympics, where you basically get your barbell and you have to get it overhead.
Yeah.
And there's a few different moves to do that. Then you've got powerlifting, which is bench press, squat, and deadlift. So it's 1 rep of each, and it's like the max you can lift. And then you've got strongwoman or strongman, which is basically the sport you see at Christmas. You know, you've got the guys lifting the Atlas stones, the big, massive rocks onto platforms.
Pulling trucks and that.
Pulling trucks, like
Yeah.
carrying cars. That's essentially what strongman or strongwoman is. That's essentially
Practicality. The practicality of weightlifting, in emergencies, you are well practiced in lifting cars off people in an emergency.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Anyone small kitten stuck under a car?
You got it.
Me.
You've got it.
Flip it off. No
That's
problem.
it. Since I met you, I did look into it, and I was looking to try and get involved with it a little bit, but life, and all that jazz. It's still something I'm quite interested in. What's the scene like? Is it popular? Is it a popular sport? Is it a growing sport? Is it a male dominated sport? What's the kind of social or the community like?
The community is really good, and it's extremely friendly. It's a growing sport, especially on the female side. The male side, we've been it's not been overly popular, to be fair. It's it went through a really good stage of being popular, then it petered out, and then it's got more popular again. But the female side is definitely starting to take off. It's like strong is the new sexy kind of things. Women are picking up barbells, throwing weights around more because they're realizing what it can do for their figure. A lot of the time, and also for the mental health as well. It's a massive boost, because some people just don't enjoy running or don't enjoy cardio so much. Some people just love lifting weights.
Yeah.
And that's what Strong Woman supplies. And the amount of competitions popping up across the country as well is phenomenal.
Is it? Yeah.
I mean, I run a website called Clean and Pressed.
Yeah.
And it's essentially a database for strong men and women to find competitions and to find gyms across the UK that cater for people who want to train for the sport. Now, I started a database in I think it was 2017, and there were about 100, maybe 130 competitions or so for that year. Over this year, it's over 200 competitions now.
Right.
So we're looking at nearly doubling the amount of competitions there are in the UK, just because the sport's growing so quickly.
That's it. And the more people that sign up or try it out and become involved, then the more competition you're going to have, aren't you? You know, that's what you want, I guess, isn't it? You want to
Exactly.
more competition,
Exactly.
better competitions. Is it like a governing body or anything that oversees what's? It's funny in Thai boxing, there isn't really. There's a few that try, and there's a few that, you know, there's one, the UKMF are trying to become the governing body, and we do need one, but there isn't specifically one in Thai boxing, which is, you know, what's it like in strongwoman and strongman?
Pretty much the same, to be honest. There isn't any one place that governs it. It's you've got Ultimate Strongman, they do competitions. Then you've got World's Strongest Man. You've got Giants Live as well, which is another competition that they do. You've just got so many various competitions, but they're all out. You've got Arnold's as well, which is over in America. That's another big competition. So these are all titles which people are striving for. Mm-hmm. Which in some ways it's good. It's varied. It means that gives people more opportunities, as it were, which is, I think, is at the moment kind of a good thing, especially in a growing sport.
Definitely.
You know, I mean, we could maybe do with a little bit more rules and regulations, but then a lot of people say that will take away from what the sport actually is.
Yeah, and because I guess
you were throwing weights around in a car park, and to be honest, we're now still throwing weights around in a car park, but just with more people watching us.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess when your sport is lifting, you're gonna want to make sure that you can carry on doing that lifting. So like doing daft things and watching other people, you know, standing by in your gym, watching somebody else do something that's going to knacker the back or whatever, then, you know, you're going to say, aren't you, that's just going to knacker your back, or you're not going to do it, you know, if you can help it, as long as you've got the education there. And I guess where would people do this? Are there specific gyms? I mean, are there gyms that have trucks and the big ball weights that you talk, you know, the stones that you got the proper...
Oh yeah, there's loads of gyms across the country now that have Atlas stones, which is the big concrete weights. There's loads across the country have those now. They're all over the place. You've got a lot of people with truck pull, not necessarily truck pull, but they have the harnesses, so you can just turn up and just hook your harness up to the car, your own car that you drove in, and just pull that. Yeah. You've got people with car deadlift platforms, so they've got a cart in the gym that people can deadlift.
Right.
But a lot of the time, with regards to the training for the sport, you can do a lot of it, get the basic strength just from having a barbell. You know, the big long bars.
So you can practice being a strong person in a regular gym, or do you need to go to a strong person gym in order to do it?
No, you don't. You don't need to. I mean, there are ways around practicing the events. I mean, a lot of the time, it's, say for example, you're gonna do your first competition. You can get strong enough to be able to do an event just practicing and just doing deadlifts and squats and overhead presses, which are essentially your main lifts for strongman. But it's always a good idea to then seek out a strongman gym to then practice the events. Yeah. And it's always a better idea to get someone who knows what they're doing, just to give you a few pointers. So book an hour with a coach, just to save you doing Atlas stones.
Yeah.
It's very technique driven, and you can get a lot out of it just knowing the correct technique. Yeah. And you'll get a lot better. You can do a lot better at your competition just having someone with a little bit of knowledge to help you out with that. So that's absolutely one of the main things I would recommend. Definitely get someone to help you out if you can, and plus reduces injury rates as well, because at the end of the day you're lifting heavy ass weights, and you want to be as safe as possible.
Sure, exactly. I mean, what does your workout look like then? So how's your workout frame? So when you go to train for an event, or you're doing your workouts or your training, what does it look like? You turn up at the gym, do you do warm up, and then are you doing the events type training? Will you do what does it, just describe a workout to us, a training session?
Well, if I was working out at a regular commercial gym, as opposed to a strongman gym, it would literally be mobility. So mobility and warm up, make sure you're ready for your workout. Then it would be, say for example, it would be a deadlift day. So I would do my deadlifts, whatever reps and sets I needed to do. Then accessory work for that, say working on hamstrings and glutes and lower back. And then, excuse me, and then potentially afterwards, depending on how I was feeling, maybe like a 10-minute blast on cardio, then a bit of a cool down, and then I'd head off out. I can usually, because I time my workouts, so what time I went in, what time I left, and I can usually get it in about an hour and 15 minutes, depending on my reps and sets that I've got to do. But if I was going to a strongman gym, it would be, again, mobility, warming up, and then I would work on implements. So, for example, Atlas stones or log, or for example, so if I've got a car deadlift, maybe kind of you work on that.
Yeah.
But it just doing it once a week, usually with the implements, can work out quite well, because if you haven't got regular access to a strongman gym, then once a week you can maybe pop down there, once every couple of weeks pop down there and build the base strength your gym, and just transfer that strength over then to
into the technique.
Into
the technique. That's really cool. You mentioned clean and pressed, which is pretty impressive. It's probably the biggest, from what you said. There isn't another website that the same size as yours, with the databases that covers with the gyms and the different competitions and the kind of detail that the website has. Does your website have, you say whatever reps you choose to do? Is there, how do you, if you wanted to start up, is your best option to go to a strong person's gym, find a coach or somebody? Will they tell you what reps to do? How do you know what weights to lift, what size weights and how many reps to do for the strong person's competition type of competition? Is there information like that on your database, on your website, or is that something that you need to do by accessing a gym?
Your best bet for wanting to know reps and sets and various information about how to do an event, although that is in the process currently of actually being written for the website, funnily enough, you should mention that.
Cool.
But there are lots of other sites which give great information on what rep sets scheme to do, how to train, like periodization, programming. There's a really good guy called Dan Hipkiss. He's a Strength X. He's just set up a gym up in Sheffield, actually. He's a really good coach. He works with one of the Stoltman brothers, and they're big on the scene. You've got Rhiannon Lovelace. She's 2018 under 64 world's strongest woman, and she owns Chaos Strength. She's really good. So I would seek out advice from them if you can. And they both run gyms. She runs one in Preston.
Yeah, Chaos is impressive, isn't it? I didn't realise that was there.
She's doing fantastic things for the female side of the sport. So she's got I think it's an Atlas stone world record attempt coming up on, I think it's the 6th of June, and that's going to be shown on Core Sports. So
see, this Core Sports, I mean, this is the sort of thing. When I found out that we've got like a world champion strong woman in Preston, I'm like, why do we not know this? If it was, we know all the Preston North End football team, we know people, runners and cyclists and such like that are local. It's like, how do we not know that we've got a woman who's a world record holder, a world champion, with her own gym in Preston? This is good news. This is proper cool information, and super inspiring as well. It makes you want to go down and see what's going on. It's made me check out the website, and it builds it builds an interest in something that you'd never really thought. I mean, we talked about you mentioned like boxing. We talked about this earlier, didn't we, about Boxing Day? So they have the strong man's competition every like Christmas on Boxing Day or something like that, and that's been going on forever.
Oh my God, it's going
Oh, don't worry. This is lockdown. You know, my daughter's just come down. Bless her. She's come down and she's gone. She's sneaked into the front room and doing her Legos, nice and quiet. Bless her. But yeah, people could be walking past. Barry walked past with a takeaway the other night when we were doing one. But yeah, it's just how it rolls. But I've lost my train of thought now. What was I saying?
World's Strongest Man, Christmas,
nice one. Boxing Day, yeah. So yeah, that's been on as long as I can remember. It's like one of the things that you always see every Christmas on like Boxing Day, and I hadn't realised it was an actual sport. I just thought it was a TV program where people who are super strong, who go to the gym and do weightlifting or anything, go and do this event for a Christmas TV program. I had no idea it was an actual kind of community, a sport thing. So I mean, even though
there's qualifiers all through the year, and then it culminates in June, which is when they actually, I think it's June, when they actually record it.
Yeah.
And when they win the title, but we don't get to see it until Christmas.
That's it. But interestingly, it's had like having that place at Christmas time, it's had kind of recognition for all those years, but yet maybe a lack of clarity of what's going on. So it's surprising that it hasn't grown quicker, the sport. In relation to that, I don't know, maybe that was just me. Maybe it's just me that thinks, hey, look, it's a strongman competition again. That's fun. Rather than this is like a serious sport that people are spending a great deal of time and using as their workout, and they're kind of like their thing, their sport that they do. And there's strong people gyms. I mean, and there's one in Preston with a world champion. This is like, it's a hidden gem. That's what I think.
It is a hidden gem. I mean, you've also got other athletes. You've got Rebecca Cumpsty, who's an under 82 kilo athlete who's competing. She's got records coming out of her ears now. You've just got so many female athletes. And plus, don't forget Eddie Hall. He brought the record back to the UK. Pippa! Eddie Hall brought the world championship back to the UK, and I think that was a massive part in getting it so popular, because he's such a character, a very sort of charismatic guy, and he obviously broke the world record, which has just been broken actually recently. So he did the first 500 kilogram deadlift.
Yeah.
Huge event.
Yeah.
And Hathor Bjornsson, who plays Mountain on Game of Thrones, he recently, I think it was last week, he did 501 and topped his record, which some people are saying isn't a valid record because it wasn't done at a competition or wasn't done in like a stadium with people. But anyway, they're now doing a boxing match. Them two are going to fight it out in a boxing match.
I saw that, yeah. Oh, because there were 100 and how many kilos? 130 kilos, 120, or was it 140 kilos and 120 kilos or something? So super heavyweights.
You've got ones like more like 200 kilos.
Can they box though? I mean, did he actually box? Did he know how to box?
I don't know.
You need a good guard when you're fighting somebody putting that much weight into a punch. You know, it's
not until September next year, so they've got plenty of time to train. Oh
yeah, they've got, and they're bound to, if they're publicising it like that, then they're bound to have good coaches on this. You know, that'll help raise the profile of the sport as well, won't it?
Big paycheck for them as well, so I'm sure they'll do the right training for it. I'm sure they will.
That's it. Thai boxing's the same. It's there's not you can't really make a living from Thai boxing. Even like, the top of they get paid, but you can't make a living from it. Unlike MMA and such, like you find a lot of Thai boxers switching over to MMA. But I think it's kind of like trying to raise the profile of the sports. And you have to make them a little bit more commercial, which is irritating, especially for me with the Thai boxing. But They seem to be like in Thai boxing, they got the one championship, and Yoka, they're kind of doing it in a more classy way with the Thai boxing. And I guess like for these strong people as well, that's a way, it's a commercial way of raising the profile, isn't it? And when you raise the profile, that's the only way the money's going to come, isn't it, really? So it's how you go about doing that. So I hope that works. Hi, Pippa.
Say hi.
She wants to get on the telly.
She does want to go.
Oh,
come on, no.
She's like, "That's not with me. Stop talking to this lady." So, do you compete, Sarah?
I haven't competed since last year now. Unfortunately, had a bit of an injury last year, and it's still not completely right.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with a couple of movements, particularly with my deadlift, which has always been an issue for me anyway.
Yeah.
But all my other lifts are doing quite well.
Oh, you did good on your other lifts. Woohoo! That's it.
Yeah, I'm actually making progress in lockdown.
Yeah.
Because I've got very limited equipment anyway at my house, and so I thought, how am I going to work around this? What am I going to do? So I just basically thought, right, I'm gonna struggle. So I thought I'll pick one lift that I can improve on.
Yeah.
And if I can come out of this with a stronger overhead,
yeah,
then it's better than nothing at all.
That's that's a really good tip for people.
Because a lot of people will be maybe slightly overwhelmed about the training and how they're going to fit it all in. So don't try and do it all at once. If you haven't got the equipment, or even if you do have the equipment, but you're struggling working out at home, just pick one lift and just get better at it.
Yeah, or convert that to you could convert that to any type of exercise or sport, can't you, really? That's a good, I mean, I've been asking the other experts in the field about the Thai boxing, about what they would, what their go-to exercise would be. And I think that's in lockdown, if you can only do one, if you've got no equipment, we've had running, we've had quite a few burpees, shadow boxing for the Thai boxing, but that's quite a good mental strategy to apply to cope. And if you're a physical person who's used to going to the gym all the time, I think that sounds like a really good idea to pick something, one little thing that you could get really good at in that time, and not worry too much about the rest of it. I think that's a really good tip, Sarah.
Can't get too overwhelmed then, and also it's if you've done one thing and you're starting to get good at that, you then maybe start to go, oh, actually, hang on, I'll just add this in.
Yeah, I might be able to try doing this now.
So it's like I'm not funny, never really have been, but I decided to start doing more circuit-based stuff. So I'm out in my garden doing burpees, doing push-ups, doing lunges, and I can feel the difference already.
Yeah,
I can feel the difference. It's making a massive difference to my recovery as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stronger heart.
Yeah. Oh, for recovery, just say so your actual recovery of getting your breath back and such like.
Yeah, it's good for that, and also it's helping a lot with one of my injuries that I picked up. It's nearly pretty much kind of almost cleared up now. Since I started doing more circuit-based bodyweight stuff, I think I'm not sure what happened, but pretty much.
I found that with injuries. I mean, that when you're into your sports and stuff, the advice is don't use it for, like, I tore my hamstring just a little bit, not like a major tear, like years ago. And the advice from the physio was not to do any of these. Don't do any Thai boxing for 8 weeks, and you're like. That's a funny joke. It's like, what do you mean I can't do Thai boxing for 8 weeks? That, do you not understand? So what you did, you try and take the advice of the physio, of course, because you want to be fixed. But you just do a little bit, you just do a little bit, and I'll just do a bit of boxing. I'll not do any teeps or anything like that. I'll keep it really basic. And, I did that for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm like, oh, it's just not quite getting better. And then it just happened. It was like the World Cup in Germany. And at the time I was proper into my football, and I'd booked a whole month off work to go to Germany for the World Cup. Started off running. I was going out, watching the football, having a beer, getting up the next day, doing my skipping, shadow boxing, running around, doing that every day, like a, focused and stuff. Then after a bit, met some kind of like football pals, and didn't do any exercising at all for about 3 to 4 weeks after that. Just did the football and the drinking and having a laugh, basically, which was kind of unusual. But lo and behold, miraculously, within about 3 weeks, my injury was pretty much healed. Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's
basically, give it a rest, like do what they say.
It's just hard though, isn't it? In your mind, it's hard to go, just, when it's a thing and you've got a routine. I suppose that might link in a little bit with some of the mental health issues that people struggle with. Again, it's just being okay with changing your routine, and making a new routine for if you need to, and being all right with that. I've always struggled with that, for sure. But yeah, the proof is in the pudding, I guess. So like with your back, your back's probably picking up because you're not able to do the exercise that was doing it in whilst you're at home.
It was a quad, because it was a quad injury for one of them. I went, and for some reason it was hurting when I was basically lifting my knee up, and I wasn't able to squat or anything. I wasn't able to put any load on it, and I couldn't even do a body weight squat without it hurting. And now it's pretty much disappeared.
Oh, that's good.
But then also I've got another slight niggle on my right hip, which I've had for a long time now. But there's this woman called Amy Limford who runs Freedom Therapy down in Southampton, and I did a consultation with her over the phone, and she's really helped because she's given me some exercises, and she also happens to write for Clean and Pressed as well.
Yeah, you've got a rehab and injury prevention page, haven't you, on your is that linked in with her?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's a strong woman herself. She holds she's currently under 82 UK strongest woman. She got that title, was it last year or this year? Can't remember.
Sometime recently.
Yeah, it's the most recent title anyway. And she's qualified physio masseuse, been doing it for a long time. Very talented woman, knows her stuff.
Yeah,
really does know her stuff. And she recently just started adding stuff to the website just before lockdown. And so that's kind of been put on pause for a little while, but she's still doing stuff online a lot. So she's doing a lot of online stuff where you can do rehabilitation with her. She can teach you how to do help you with back and neck problems and stuff like that. So while you're in lockdown, if you're having any niggles or issues, and you're not able to do what you would usually do, get on the mobility, get on the rehabilitation, make yourself as fit as possible and as healthy as possible for when you do go back to training.
See, that's another really good tip. So it just to be clear, is it cleanandpressed.co.uk?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Cleanandpressed.co.uk, that's the website. Yeah. So coming towards wrapping it up.
Yeah.
To try and, if you could, what do you want to say to people to try and encourage them to join in or try the sport? What's your sales pitch for?
My sales pitch?
Yeah. How persuade people? Tell them why you think it's great and why they should come and try it.
Well, first of all, get your ass on YouTube and Google the best strongman moments and just stuff like that. Just get watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
See what you think, men and women, because there's some absolutely cracking stuff on there. You won't believe some of the stuff they can do. And second of all, don't be intimidated. It's kind of, honestly, like, strongman gyms are the friendliest places in the world. They really are. Yeah. Really are so friendly. You can walk in there and not know anyone, and you'll come out of it with a new mate and someone who can help you and help you get into it. So don't be intimidated, or go and watch a competition. There's a competition nearly every single weekend. Not at the moment, fear of death, but when things do pick back up again, there's a competition pretty much every weekend, and you can find one on the website and just go and watch it, because it is so friendly. Honestly, I mean, even my wife Elaine, she did her first one in March.
That's right. Super impressed.
Yeah, she did it. And she was very much into her cycling and running and things like that. A few years ago, and then she kind of got out of exercise for a while. But then she's come back to exercise, but she wanted something that wasn't so cardio based. So she did her first strongman competition at Chaos Strength, and she absolutely loved it. She really did. She thought it was fantastic. But she's got a new challenge now, so she's on to rowing.
That's it. Yeah, she's got quite an impressive. She's set herself quite an impressive challenge, hasn't she? She's actually. What's the actual? How far is she rowing on the rowing machine in the house garden?
I think it's 298 kilometres over a week. So that works out about 4.5 hours a day on the rowing machine. So basically, she lives in Preston. With me and Pippa, and her parents live in Wiltshire, and she's extremely close to her parents, and she can't see them, for obvious reasons. But she goes down quite a lot. So she thought what she'll do is she will basically row the distance from Preston to Wiltshire.
Wow!
And Elaine has an eating disorder, an exercise-based eating disorder, so and she wants to raise money for Mind to help with the cause, because there's various different eating disorders, which you've got bulimia and anorexia, but there's lots of other categories as well which people don't know about, that they're not spoken about a lot, and I think she just wants to help. Well, she wants to help raise awareness for that. And
I think that's great. Yeah, I mean, I think that's great. I mean, I'm hoping that I'll speak to Elaine, and I'm hoping that she'll do us a little interview, maybe show some rowing and this, and maybe talk a little bit about her eating disorder. And knowing Elaine, from the background I have with Elaine, I taught Elaine to box a while back, and knowing her personality, she's very determined, and even if there's tears and despair, I believe that she'll have to break before she doesn't do this. I mean, there'll have to be some kind of like physical incapacitation. Is that a word? Did I make a word? Oh, is that a good? That's a good word if that's not made up. Incapacitation. Well, Corey's giving me a thumbs up from behind there. I always have to check my words. Oh my God, it's a real word. That sounds so good. Unless there's some kind of physical incapacitation, there may be tears, there may be she'll do it,
She was on the rowing machine for an hour and a half yesterday. Not yesterday, day before yesterday.
Practicing.
I took a pair of shoes this morning.
Oh, you have to take your shoes. Well, what we'll do is I'll put a link in. I'll put a link on the when we put this on to a page as well, and I'll see if we can get a chat with Elaine as well. Hey, listen, that's super cool, Sarah, and I swear to God, I really want to. I'm there. I want to go and try it again now. I did actually look into doing it, but it was a period of 3 weeks, and then I didn't quite get around to getting there, or I couldn't quite get hold of anybody, and then the time passed. But I'm well up for trying it again now.
There's loads of places in the northwest. I mean, the north seems to be the place where there's a lot of stuff going on in the north, both the northeast and the northwest.
Well, that's good. That's good for us.
There's probably like just in Lancashire, I would say there's probably 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 gyms.
Right.
That's doing strongman
exactly.
stuff.
How did we not know that? We know that now, Sarah. You have told us.
You know that.
Told people. Right, mate.
Thanks.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Anything to chat about that gives people inspiration, inspiring people to do with fitness, mental health, physical health, a lot. I'm really, really chuffed, Sarah, that you did this for us, mate. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for letting me have a chat. It's been really good.
No worries. And am I all right to people can fire questions in if they want, and we'll try and hook them up with you somehow if they want to maybe tag you into a post or something. If people have any questions or any queries or anything, can we hook them up in like a Facebook post or some kind of email?
Yeah, I've got a Facebook page, and you can also go on my website. There's a contact me page, so people can find stuff over there. There's like loads of different ways you can contact me. I'm on Instagram as well. So.
Right, ace. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we can get some more people in. Well, right, thanks a lot, Sarah. You have a good rest of the day. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found that interesting, as interesting as I did. Okay, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.